So your hospice has decided that it's time to go ahead and give some of the streaming, this one-sided kind of conversation a try. How is that going to work? Now, having it be one-sided, there isn't any PHI associated with doing a one-sided streaming, right? People are choosing to be part of your discussion and they are choosing to like your organization or follow you on Facebook or Twitter or however else they're doing this. Now, there's some ways in which that you can stream directly through some of these platforms. Okay, so let's talk about some things that you're going to want to consider before just jumping straight in and saying, okay, how are we going to do this? And this is my idea, and I have no idea how to make it happen. All these different platforms are out there and available to you, which is phenomenal. However, understanding them and how to use them is really going to be where your learning curve is. You all know how to have meetings. You all know how to do an interview. But there's some things with technology to remember. First things first is your background, right? You want to make sure that you're not in a totally cluttered background, right? Like the room that you're in doesn't have like stacks and piles of things in the background. That's not all too pleasant to look at. You don't like looking at other people's mess. They're not going to want to look at your mess either. So choose that area that makes sense for you. Now that's the no-brainer, right? The second thing is lighting. Lighting is a very interesting thing. Lighting can affect what type of camera you're using. So if you have a really nice camera that you're using, you're going to be able to change the aperture and all that stuff and do some wonderful things. But at this time, chances are we're using our laptop cameras or our smartphone cameras. And so you really want to pay attention to the lighting. Now, I can tell you I have recorded late at night with really poor lighting. I have recorded during the day outside in the sun. I've recorded in my home office, which is where I'm at right now, and the lighting really depends. I have actually a window right there in front of me, so it lights me, but at night I have lighting all around me. What I'd like to tell you is that depending on your lighting, your camera may work better or worse depending on your lighting. So you might have some pixelization if the lighting's really poor, or the shadows might be really harsh and it won't be all too flattering if the lighting's not right. So think about the lighting and what kind of lights that you want to have for yourself and whatever seems most natural and comfortable for you, okay? The third thing I want you to think about is internet connection, okay? Working from home, I can tell you that if I am doing something that is at peak business hours or when community children may be doing their e-learning, things are much slower. Okay, so think about maybe what that might mean for you and what is your internet connectivity. And if you're on a Wi-Fi, is that like a really strong signal for you or not? These things all come into consideration because, again, you want that nice clean video. Or are you going to need to record and then upload a video? Because if your Wi-Fi connection and your availability is only during those peak hours, you may be needing to play some recorded video. Okay, just a thought. Now, depending on what it is that you're choosing to do, you may want to have dialogue with people who are watching. Now, when I go through consents, I talk about how social media sites are not part of HIPAA compliance, is not part of privacy. So right from the front end of my meeting with people, I'm talking about I am on the internet. I am I do have Facebook. I am on LinkedIn. I am on these different places. However, they are not privacy protected. This lets people know that if they want to engage with me, they are going to be doing that of their own accord. Okay, so there's no privacy protection there. So I do have some private groups set up on Facebook that we can have more of a private conversation with a select group of people. And I also have an educational platform that is completely off of social media and is private. That also is not considered a support group. It's self-help. Okay, so that's another token of information is talking about that privacy aspect and where you're going to post this information. The most important thing that you're probably wondering about is technology, right? And that technology aspect is really important to keep in mind. You know, there's lots of programs that are offering trial versions or free versions of their platform. These are great in a lot of times to see how do they work and how can I do more with them. Facebook has a newer version that has come out that kind of makes it a little bit more interesting to do Facebook Lives. So that's one thing to kind of keep in mind. The second is that if you want to do a Facebook Live, you'll need to be primarily on a Google-based search engine like Google Chrome. Okay, because Firefox, I believe, also is another one that you can use. Safari is not going to be an ideal web browser to support streaming into a Facebook Live. And then if you're on your phone, there's lots of apps that you can use, and I believe the Facebook app on your smartphone works just fine for doing lives. If you are wanting to stream and you want to have an interviewer or interviewee, you want to be an interviewer, you can use a program called Streamyard, STREAMYARD, or you can use Zoom. Both have options to stream into your Facebook feed, or even do a live to YouTube, which is really kind of cool. So I want to just kind of put those things out there to you as those two possible options to have an interview. When you do Zoom, there is a general lag. There is about a 20-second buffer between the information that's being seen in Zoom and the information that is being broadcast in a Facebook Live. About a 20-second delay. With StreamYard, what I have found is that there isn't. The other benefit to StreamYard is that you actually can see and respond to comments as they're coming through. So you can actually see and engage with people and comment on their comments as you're doing it alone. You don't necessarily need another facilitator to help you manage those comments. So that's the information I have for you today. I hope that this was really helpful for you, and feel free to let me know if there's any topics that you're particularly wondering about or thinking about, or wondering about the limits and benefits of these different programs. You know, I know that different programs have different fees, right? And as you're trying different things, try out those free versions and see what is accessible and available to you. You need to decide for yourself what that's going to look like. All right? You can always send me a private message if you'd like more information or you'd like to talk more about what it is that you're looking to do, and I'd be happy to help you out. I know there's lots of webinars that are coming out. I personally think we don't have to wait. Let's get that information out there to you now. All right? I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.